From very possible to highly unlikely things that could happen to you, here are 10 tips that may one day save your life.
Brilliant news!
1. A car crash. Of course, you should already be wearing your seatbelt. The seatbelt will keep you from being flung about or even flung outside of the vehicle. Try not to tense up before impact. Tensing up can increase the odds of breaking bones. Depending on how smashed up your car is, and if you can reach them, turn on the hazard lights to alert other drivers. In order to avoid potentially being trapped by your seatbelt, purchase a seatbelt cutter right now and find a place in the middle of your vehicle to store it so that it's accessible from almost anywhere inside, ready for when you need it. If you need to smash a window to get out, use the headrest legs by wedging them in the bottom corner of the window like a lever and pull. This should shatter the glass. 2. A fire. Smoke tends to fill a room from top to bottom, so keep as low to the ground as you can to avoid suffocation. While doing this, your next objective is to get out of the building as fast as you can. If you need to open a window, remember that doing this creates a sudden draft that can cause a fire to surge, so make sure you close the door to the room you're in beforehand. If you need to open a closed door to escape, make sure you feel it before opening it to tell if there's fire behind. And if all exits are blocked and you can't see any way out, try heading for the bathroom. Your best bet may just be unscrewing the sink trap and breathing through the waste pipe, however nasty it smells. 3. A spider bite. Some spiders can deliver pretty potent bites, and it can happen that you may not even know you've been bitten until you start experiencing symptoms, usually pain and redness at the site of the bite. Serious symptoms usually start to show up around 15 minutes after a bite, so if you know you've been bitten, use this time to seek out medical attention. Staying calm and applying ice to the bite can ease the pain and slow down the effects of the venom. But don't hesitate to head to a hospital as soon as you possibly can. For healthy adults, most spider bites aren't fatal, and treatments using drugs and anti-venom can ensure that there'll be no lasting problems. 4. A dog attack. If you encounter a growling dog who looks like he's ready to bite, never turn away and run. This will activate the dog's prey instinct. Instead, try to avoid eye contact. Stay calm and back away slowly, making no sudden moves. Of course, should the dog lunge at you, then unfortunately it's time to fight. Try to grab anything nearby you can use to hit the dog with. Hit or kick the dog in the throat, nose and back of the head. This will stun the dog and give you time to get away. Another useful tactic is to go for the eyes. If the dog manages to get a hold of your arm, don't pull back. Instead, shove your arm as far down the dog's throat as possible to force it to release. 5. A shark attack. Like with the dog, never try to swim away or play dead. The shark is either going to see you as a fun game or an easy meal. Instead, always face the attacking shark and get ready to punch and kick. Go for sensitive areas like the gills, snout and eyes. And if at all possible, try to arm yourself by using anything close by. Even the most seemingly useless objects can be more effective than going in with just your fists and feet. Basically, you want to convince it you're too much trouble, and hopefully the shark will seek a much easier meal somewhere else. 6. Falling elevator. Some people say to jump before the elevator hits the bottom, but without being able to see the ground, that's almost impossible. Also, you'll only reduce the overall speed by a few miles per hour even if you did manage to get the timing right. The reality is that you're pretty much screwed, as all suggested options all result in you landing in a crumpled up bone heap. However, out of all the options available, the one that will make you less dead would actually be to lie down flat on your back. It's not a guarantee for survival, and if you could somehow manage to lie on the floor while being weightless as you fall, and somehow survive, you'll likely suffer quite a few broken bones. But that said, out of them all, it does seem to be the best option. 7. Falling from a plane. Sadly, like with the elevator, your odds of surviving aren't very good at all, but there are things you can do to add some hope. Maybe. Face the earth, arch your back and make sure your arms and hands are stretched out with your knees and elbows bent, like a skydiver. This will give you stability and increase your drag, which will slow you down. While in this position, you can actually steer yourself through the air. So with that in mind, look for the best possible place or thing to land on. Aim for snow, freshly tilled fields or sloping hills. Trees and thick bushes can be good, but also increases the chances of you getting impaled. All you can do after that is relax and try to get your body vertical right before impact. 8. Stranded. Okay, let's say you somehow managed to survive the plane fall, landing in some bushes, but now you find yourself stranded on a desert island. What do? Well, firstly, don't take any risks and get yourself injured. Secondly, you're going to need water and to stay out of the sun to minimize dehydration. Look around you for vegetation. That can be a good indicator of a water source. While hunting for food, remember that insects such as beetles, grasshoppers, crickets can be good sources of protein and could keep you going until you find something more substantial. If you've ended up stranded from a shipwreck, try to salvage anything you can, no matter how useless it may seem. That One Direction CD may just be the thing that saves your life, by using it as a mirror to signal help. Or you could just smash it up and use the shards as a cutting tool. And if you find a sheet of transparent plastic and a container among the wreckage, make a solar still to be able to drink the seawater. 9. A nuclear explosion. Sadly, in the blast zone there's nothing you can do but accept your fate. However, if you were several miles away from the nuke, depending on your proximity of the blast, once you see a flash, you might have a few seconds before the shockwave hits. As fast as you can, head for a place that offers protection from high winds and debris from the shockwave. If you manage to survive that, immediately get in a car and drive to get as far away as you possibly can. If you can't find a car that works, get underground or inside a building that has no windows and thick walls. Once inside, take off all your clothes and get rid of them. They'll be full of radiation from the initial blast. If you're able to, grab some food and water to take with you, but remember that the longer you take, the more radiation you'll be exposed to. When in your fort, try and find heavy furniture and put it all around you. The idea is to get as much mass between you and the radiation as possible, then wait. Usually after a few days, the nuclear fallout radioactivity will have decreased significantly, and you may be able to find help. Number 10. A robot apocalypse. Due to the huge advances in autonomous robot development combined with the recent advances in computer learning, this threat is now totally possible. So in this event, first, stay off the internet and away from anything with wireless connectivity. Yes, that means your phone too. This will make you harder to track. However, should they track you down, be prepared. Try to take down their sensors, such as cameras, microphones, or thermal imaging. But remember, a robot will outdo you in intelligence, but not in agility. Not yet anyway. So try to use this to your advantage. Climb trees, dive in water, hide under cars. Go anywhere that a robot can't reach you. If you're running away from one, try to run in unpredictable directions. Vision tracking systems try to predict where you'll be, so it'll have to work harder to keep track of you. Also, remember that robots have no emotions and efficiency is going to be their goal. Use this to predict their next move. You won't be able to intimidate them, but you might just be able to create a scenario where killing you just isn't worth the battery power. What would you do in a robot apocalypse? Comment below.